station orbiting 250 miles above Earth and about to be manned for the first time. America's Bob Cabana and Russia's Sergei Krikalev opened a series of hatches between the shuttle Endeavour and the space station.
The hatch now coming open to Unity.
Entering the Unity module with a polite, "Please, you go first."
Just an absolutely super place. It's unbelievable. If you got live coverage, look at the volume Sergei is floating around in. Truly fine piece of hardware.
Space Station Houston, you have a go to open the hatch in step 4.
Just over an hour later, they were inside the Russian Zarya module. Final preparations for entering the station were made in a 7-hour spacewalk, in which astronaut James Newman used a 10-foot pole to prise open a jammed antenna on Zarya. He and fellow American Jerry Ross also attached 2 communications antennae to Unity. They will conduct a final spacewalk on Saturday.
Yeah, this is a beautiful shot. The mission control is really enjoying this, and I hope you are at home too.
On Sunday, Endeavour returns to Earth, leaving the space station behind.
24 hours before President Clinton arrives in the Middle East, the Palestinian Authority has begun a debate on a key part of its peace deal with Israel. It's over whether to change the PLO charter so it no longer calls for Israel's destruction. The issue is being discussed amid continuing violence between Israelis and Palestinians on the occupied West Bank. Here's our Middle East correspondent, Julian Mannion.
For the second time in 24 hours, Palestinian mourners buried a young man killed in clashes with the Israelis. This time it was a 17-year-old boy. He was hit by Israeli army gunfire during rioting near the town of Ramallah on Wednesday, just 3 days before President Clinton's arrival. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has ordered a crackdown on Palestinian unrest and has struck an increasingly defiant tone in the run-up to the US president's visit. Speaking to Israeli newspaper editors, he said his government would resist any American attempt to impose a solution. Israeli right-wingers have been highly critical of President Clinton's mission. In some areas, posters have appeared showing the US president wearing Palestinian headdress. Meanwhile, in Gaza, the Palestinian Central Council, a sort of mini-parliament, has convened to discuss the PLO charter. Under the Y agreement, the Council is supposed to confirm the nullification of clauses calling for Israel's destruction. And that decision is to be formally approved during President Clinton's visit to Gaza next Monday. But the Israeli government has already declared that it is not happy with the procedures being used. Benjamin Netanyahu says that Palestinian representatives must hold a vote in front of the US president, something the Palestinians have said they will not do.
It is not their business. We are following our rules.
With less than 48 hours to go before President Clinton's arrival, the Y agreement, which he is coming to promote, looks dangerously close to unraveling. Julian Mannion, ITN, Jerusalem.
For today's special report, we return to Europe and the arrival of the euro currency in the new year. In 3 weeks' time, 11 EU countries will fix their currency rates in euros, with euro notes and coins following later. Britain's staying out for the moment, but as ITN's Bill Neely reports, the euro will still have an impact on all our lives.
It's historic, and it's a leap into the unknown. The beginning of the meltdown of 11 currencies, the birth of the euro. 11 countries are now campaigning hard to tell 290 million people what it all means. A world currency to rival the dollar, one they won't use for 3 years, but one they have to get used to 3 weeks from now.
For the first time, from the fall of the Roman Empire, Europe will have its own currency.
Germany's biggest car company, Daimler Chrysler, has spent £80 million switching to the euro, but they will now save £40 million a year, avoiding the costs of trading in 11 currencies. No red carpet for Britain in January. It's not joining the euro, but many British companies are joining in. Marks & Spencer is expanding in Europe, adapting its tills and pricing its goods in euros. From January, on the continent and in Britain, You can pay them in euros with a credit card or traveller's cheque. This company from Sussex is already making the drawers for the tills that will hold the euro.
As far as my business is concerned, I'm definitely a euro enthusiast.
The company trades in 3 euro countries, but next year it will still suffer the ups and downs of the pound, suffering, like many companies, from Britain's doubts about the euro.
I think it is imperative that a government decision is made sooner rather than later.
But although Britain isn't joining yet, you may soon feel the effect of the euro as 11 countries begin to compete in the same currency. It is widely expected that prices across Europe will fall. Computers by 25%, compact discs by 10%, cars too. All of this is bound to have an effect on British prices. It's what they're already calling Euro creep. Euro chaos is another possibility. The new currency floundering, individual countries powerless to respond because they've given up their freedom to raise interest rates. Even for Britain, that could spell disaster. Many skeptics said it wouldn't happen. But on January the 1st, the euro will be born. Another tie that will bind Europe. Another challenge for Britain.
The Australian Cricket Board has said it will launch a new inquiry into Australian players being paid by book